Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kentucky Garden Gal. I am Nancy, and I want to welcome everyone. We have a lot of new subscribers, and I want to welcome everyone. Thank those who have subscribed to my channel for several years that I've been doing this. And just wanted to remind everybody that I garden in a Zone 7 in South Central Kentucky. And I have been in my home in this garden for 30 years. It's just a city lot. So this is the front. It faces north. And as you can hear, there is a church behind me. So this is my north facing garden. And we had some water issues from the city. I think they replaced some lines, but this was all dug up last year, so this is starting to regrow. But I wanted to start this tour out with these tulips because they are absolutely stunning and they are beautiful, and I often see so many questions. Happy Easter! Thank you!
We love you!
Well, thank you so much. That was a nice surprise. So these tulips were planted in February of this year. Now, the thing with tulips, we all know that we plant our bulbs in the fall, and that is the best time to plant them. But here where we are, we absolutely can plant our bulbs as long as the ground is not frozen. So even in February, I think it was early part of February, and these tulips came from Tulip World online, and they were 80% off. So I think I paid maybe $20 for all these tulips. But look at that. Just look at how beautiful these tulips are, and this is their first year. So I started this little bed. Now over here, I had put in some knockout roses, some tulips, and some daffodils. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I splurged, for me anyways. I bought these tulips that you see here from Eden Brothers. They're absolutely gorgeous, but my goodness, I think I spent about $84 for these tulips, which they are beautiful. But, you know, I could get a lot more on sale when they go on sale for 80%. But let's look at this bed really fast. And this is what we are calling the Dolly Parton Rose Garden, because these are Dolly Parton knockout roses. So as we walk around and do a garden tour, you can just see some of the things that are good in my garden and some of the things that are bad. And I don't have perfect landscaping by any means. It's just me and myself and I will always have weeds. Try to cut my own grass. I just try to do all my own work, and it's a lot. But you know, the whole purpose of a garden is not to be perfect. It's for the enjoyment of it. So getting back to this bed, I had bought these knockout roses from Lowe's, and then the little clematis, those were on clearance. The bulbs I put in the fall. So you can see how this one is doing well. This one has some damage to it, which I have sprayed right there. This one, the same thing, has a little damage. Look at how badly this one died off. Almost half of this rose bush is dead, which I'm gonna wait a while and then I'll cut everything off. I am treating all of my rose bushes. You can see there's some damage here. I am treating all of my rose bushes with dormant spray. So that's a good insecticide to use for your for your bushes. It is an oil, so you want to make sure that you put it on like at the end of the day when the sun goes down. But there's that Dolly Parton rose, and these are fragrant. I mean, they are absolutely, do not disappoint in the fragrance department. So this is a David Austin rose. This is a climbing rose. You can see it's just full of buds, and I would bet you the next time I do a video, these should be opened up. But you can see there was some damage on that. And I have 3 more David Austins coming this week. They should be here tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna plant these in the front yard. I planted this arboretovite hedge, and it's doing well. These are Rosa Sharons. They're different colors, mainly pink and white, but they're really starting to bloom out now. There's another David Austin. Notice some damage on that. So this is a little area over here. These are Grace roses I got these online and had a little bit of damage, but I think what might be causing my issues is I have a terrible infestation of aphids on my irises this year. So I do come out, I do hit those with a water hose, but I don't think I caught them in time before they started doing damage to my roses. So yeah, I wasn't vigilant enough, and now I'm paying for it. But this is a climber from Grace Rose. This is their 3rd year, I think, and I do need to tie this one up, but it'll go just right up there. This is a knockout, which is just stunning. And these are white irises in here that are just huge, and they are gorgeous. More knockouts over there. This is a Savannah holly that I just love because it provides year-round interest in this garden. It looks like this all year long, and I just love it at Christmas time. I just love it. So this is an oak leaf hydrangea, and oftentimes when I do take pictures of my house, this is probably the plant that you see more than anything. And with the white columns, it just really seems to stand out. And then all of the evergreens up front. It's hard to get a lot of color in there because it does face north. But the green and white seems to work fine. And we are starting our sidewalk project hopefully this week. This is a water maple right here, and I'll show you what the water maple roots do. They search for the ground. So that is why my sidewalk is so broken up, because this water maple wants to break up the concrete. So, and I did sow some grass seed in here, but we do walk through this area quite a lot, and I just need to keep reseeding it with grass seed. So I did something a little different this year. Fake flowers. Can y'all tell? Can y'all tell from the road? So hopefully not, but I decided to make it a little easier as far as watering. And we'll go up. I really haven't done anything to the porch. And in fact, I've got to go get my black spray paint and do my angels. Really haven't done anything to the porch so far this year. I will be getting hanging baskets and things like that to come up here, but we do enjoy sitting on the front porch up here. But this is what we see when we're looking out. That's my friend Jess's house. She watches the channel. And then this is a view that I see when I drink my coffee, when I sit at the end of the porch, that I just love to photograph through the seasons. But we'll go around to the side garden. This is another rose, and I think that this was one of the roses that I bought from Walmart last year. It's just going to be full of blooms. But they had just gotten them in from Walmart, and they were in the plastic bags. I had taken a picture, and so many people had said, oh, that is just not going to work out. But because they had just gotten them in, they were good and healthy plants. Lots of good and healthy plants. Right there, lots of new growth. And then we like to sit in here and drink coffee. We're coffee drinkers, so we're always looking for a good place to sit down and drink coffee. And this is just daylilies and hostas and irises. And I'm starting to try to work on these beds. I've got some rhododendrons to go in here. I did replant some azaleas this year. Around this tree is a plant that I grew from seed, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. I have growing containers in the back, and I'll show those to you that I use for different things. But one fall, I just threw out a bunch of seeds, and whatever it was, it really did good. So I kind of grew them up in my containers, and now I have them here. But as soon as they get the flower, I can do the plant ID and figure out what they are. There are some knockout roses here that I'm going to have to move. They are just not getting enough sunlight. And yesterday I brought out this night blooming cereus because it's going to be really warm, like in the 60s at night. And I'm filming this on Easter Sunday. I can't remember a time that we've ever had this early of a spring. But yeah, so I went ahead and brought that out, and then we're working on this area. You may have seen some photos if you're following my Facebook page, but we like to sit out here. I bought this little sofa thing on, I bought it from Wayfair, I believe. It was on clearance because it's white. And only I would be silly enough to think that I could keep a white outdoor sofa clean. These chairs were at Bob's, and so he gave me 2 of those, and I just bought cushions for them. I made my little sofa stand back there out of cinder blocks and 4x8s, I believe that's what they are. But I want to show you something. I'm really excited. So I have always wanted artichokes in my garden, and I've tried many times to get them going and just didn't have luck. And there's a young lady, her name is Rachel. She's Davis Farm Stand. You can find her on Facebook, and she absolutely has wonderful baked goods, but also plants. And she had started some artichokes. So I've got 1, 2, 3 artichokes. These are dahlias. She started some dahlias for me, and then this is a tomato plant. So it is warm enough that I am actually able to leave these out here. I left them out last night, checked the temperature, got in bed, checked the temperature again, you know, sort of afraid I was going to kill my plants, but absolutely no damage whatsoever. They did fine. And then we added this little fountain. We wanted a fountain back here, so we added that. I got that from Wayfair. And this is the courtyard that I'm just trying to build up and add things to. We did add bird feeders, bird feeding stations this year. So this is walking through here. Look at the Solomon seal. Isn't that just stunning? That is just stunning. We've got irises getting ready to bloom. There's another David Austin. I have got my green stalks. I got these out. This is another rose bush that I added. But getting back to the green stalks, I'm going to go this week and get my plants to go in here. I have some strawberries that I started last year that seem to be doing pretty well. And then in this one, I had one rosemary over there. So I'll get some more, but I have started to add trellises, so vertical gardening, and just about everywhere I have a trellis, I have planted a climbing rose. So hoping that I will have lots of climbing roses in the years to come, but we'll take a look back here and see what's going on. This is the crepe myrtle. See, you can tell by the bark, that smooth bark, but these are coming out. They're starting to green up. There is a peony right there that it will be blooming soon, and then there's another bird feeding station. Let's see. There's an azalea here. This is like a little secret garden back here that really isn't in bloom. Beginning right here, I started, this is a fig, a brown turkey fig, so that will produce in the fall. And then this is an apricot tree. That's a peach tree. That is an apple tree. And right here, I have blackberries growing up on this old carriage house. So this gets into the area that's a little bit more productive, I guess you might say, as far as food. And these are the containers that I was telling you about that I just throw seed in, get things to grow up, and then I transplant them to other areas of my garden. I also have 3 pawpaw trees back there. So I just recently planted potatoes in here. I need to come and add some more straw to that. Got the chicken coop right there. And then over here is a little potager garden. And again, I have more irises when I know what to do with. And then I grow my herbs in these containers. This is oregano, tansy, started asparagus. Over here, this is mainly a flower bed here. This is Jerusalem artichokes right in there. So I just have little sections. I do have a greenhouse right there. This is a little propagation station that I have tucked in just simply between a building and a neighbor's fence. This might be 8 foot wide. It's not that long, but when I have extra plants, I pot them up and either give them away or take them to the farm. So I really enjoy the little setup that I have in here. Well, in the video here, this is another propagation station that I use for trees. Many of you know that I have my father's farm in East Tennessee, and I'm trying to put more trees, actually trying to build a food forest, and I can do a whole video on that if you're interested. But these are some oak trees and pawpaw trees that I got from our local conservation office, and that's why these colored trash bags are on there, because I haven't gotten the labels yet. But this year I do get these every year from the our local conservation office, and these are like 3-year trees. Like, these look like this is usually, right there is usually, make sure you can see it, that is usually what we get. Look at how big these trees are. I'm just absolutely thrilled with these. So a lot of these I will actually be able to take to the farm this November and plant. And that's just, caused my project to be, like 3 years ahead of itself. So I'm so thrilled about that. But I hope you've enjoyed this little garden tour. And as you can see, I just used every single inch that I have of my garden in my home, and I love to propagate and share. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I would love, we'll look at our cherry tree. The blooms are falling off, but it's still pretty. But if you've enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and comment. That really helps the algorithms with YouTube. And I appreciate all of you, and have a happy and blessed Easter.